How's everybody doing this morning? Today, on a Saturday of all things, we're going to be playing some chess and just hanging out and talking about stuff. Wow, that's so fun. That's so fun, Rebecca. Wow. Okay, so, welcome to my stream, you guys. Welcome, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are. Time travelers, 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 sexy time travelers. Oh, it's one of those kind of time traveling shows. Oh, everybody's getting naked and they're not doing anything sexual. They're just getting dressed, but they also don't have genitals. They're also, I'm not describing you a sexual act. It is just specifically gender neutral, androgynous robots who are always naked. Donald Duck doesn't wear pants. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. Donald Duck competent version coming soon. Coming soon? Why? Why is this happening? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why? 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 Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to yourself? Instead, come enjoy the boutique that we offer you, where you may indulge yourself, live in freedom, care for your beautiful skin and hair.
Well, I tell you what, if If you want to get your hair as pretty as mine, you gotta use my product.
Oh my god. What the fuck? What the hell? What the hell is going on? How is she doing it with her face? How does she make her face into a mask? It's because I'm changing muscles in my face. And I usually have to strain a lot to feminize my face, because you can see like... Smiling helps though. So that's the main reason why I want to get skull surgery, because facial feminization is because a lot of it is conscious, you know. If I just let my face droop, like I don't really look the way I want to look, you know. I'll look like this.
I don't want to be cave person. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. Back in my day, we didn't have Twitch streams or anything like that. Back in my day, we had to make our own entertainment. We had to lick octopuses, and that would get us, it was like getting drunk. But little did we know, those weren't real octopuses. That was just vodka. And back in my day...
Where are your parents? Where are your parents? It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? It's time to stop. It's time to stop. Okay. Now that that's out of our system... Okay, well, can I stand perfectly still? Let's see how long I can. I'm not perfectly still. I gotta get, like, my muscles to stop moving. Am I still?
What are we gonna do here today? Oh, hi. We're gonna play a stream today. Oh, yeah. We're gonna get it going. Yeah, we're gonna get it going in the stream, okay? We're gonna be playing on Twitch. Bye-bye.
Okay. What? No. What? How dare you? How dare you? You think you can treat me that way? I put up with it for long enough. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? You cheated on us after I've spent decades building a trust to build a marriage. A marriage. 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 Well, you had cheated on me to begin with. When I first saw you, you were contemplating sleeping with the milkman's daughter in a lesbian relationship. Why does it matter that it's lesbian? I don't know. But it was. It was, in order to give exposition to the plot line. What plotline? What plotline, Rebecca? What the fuck is going on? Why are you doing this? Why? Where are your parents? It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? It's time to stop. Hi, Boogles. Hi, how are you? Welcome to my stream. We're getting started soon. We're just kind of warming up right now. I am watching like some grandmaster, like top chess players play while I'm getting ready. I'm just watching right now, and then we'll get started playing. I also need to watch LSF. I don't need to. I usually do in the morning though. Okay, so this is live. Yes. Chess.com, watching Top Game. It's like auto watch Top Game, not auto like from Simpsons. Like, like auto, like automatic. It's automatic. LSF is live stream fails. I don't know if you've been here before, but how did you find me? If you cared, I will ask you one question. How did you find me among the sea? If you can answer these questions 3, you may pass. Oh, you have been? Yeah, I recognize your name. I recognize your name. But I still wonder like how people found me. It's kind of interesting. Since September 18, 2019, that's when I first started transitioning socially, wasn't it? Was that the stream where I showed you, where I came out like again? Well, came out on stream. I like was wearing a skirt. And it wasn't even a skirt, it was like one of those neck warmer gaiter things, and I was wearing it as a skirt because I'm skinny as fuck. You have seen your transition. Yeah, I mean it's been like 2 years. I'm glad that you're still here after all this time. Things have changed a lot, and I'm getting my surgeries very soon, so it's actually happening. Like next year is my year. Starting in January, I get the very first procedure. Very quick, like 30-minute procedure. Your room is still the same? Yeah, that's the only thing that hasn't changed. I've got blankets. But they're the same blankets I already had. Son doesn't want to get banned from Twitch, then he could just not use racial slurs. Really simple rule to follow. It's just kind of funny when people say that and they've only heard about Hasan because they saw like a news article talking about him. I've been watching him since like the Trump elections. Since the election, quote unquote, was stolen according to Trump. During the 2020 elections when Biden got elected and won the election fair and square. Just listening to this, I mean, I don't agree with everything he says. I also don't agree with every single approach he has with people, but at the same time, like, I understand where he, like, pretty much where he stands on most things. He has a lot of knowledge, and he also does a lot to, help educate about racism and how to be anti-racist, and also how to understand, like, the Afghanistan, like, war and how it was basically, like, a complete, like, drain of resources, and then the whole thing with like Palestine and how like everybody, obviously terrible things are happening to children everywhere, not just Israeli children, but like there's Palestinian children who have to grow up with their house like exploding. And that's just a normal part of life that they have to be like mentally prepared for by their parents. Like, hey, there might be bombs going off. We need to know how, like, when that happens, we have to be calm and get under the table or whatever, like whatever they do, to like, but like, it just sucks that we have to force kids that the kids are being forced to deal with things mentally that way at such a young age. You only get to be a kid once, like how about we stop bombing people, But that being said, Hasan doesn't really use racial slurs, and the one time he did was because his mods got banned. Everybody knows this isn't about racial slurs. Everybody knows this is just about Twitch politics. This has nothing to do with like racial slurs. It does make people feel empowered, and I understand where they're coming from, because people do feel empowered by the fact that like like, oh, well, this person agrees with me, and then they agree with one part of it, but they don't really see the whole picture, and it kind of ends up being this whole thing of like, yeah, I can understand why logically it sounds like something that would make sense, but in practice, and praxis is like the most important, especially in chess. Like, it's one thing to understand a chess concept, but in praxis, which means when using it, like in the real world, that's not really how things go down, You want a whole rant about the 2020 election, Palestinians, and God knows what else? What I said was simple. Don't be racist. The left loves going on 50 different tangents. That's because we already agree on that simple fact. Why do you want things to be so simple? Life is nuanced. Different people exist, and different people have different, definitions of what is considered decorum. And I think that's the biggest issue, is because sometimes in some circles, or in some countries, or some kind of places, in our lives, it might be perfectly acceptable for someone to say a racist joke, and nobody makes any big deal out of it. It doesn't make it okay if you say that same joke in a different context. It's still going to have people are going to react negatively to it. Just because some people think it's okay doesn't mean everybody thinks it's okay, and doesn't mean that it is or isn't okay. And that works for the inverse as well. Just because people think something isn't okay doesn't mean it's objectively not okay. Like, people say, oh, it's not okay to have marriage between a man and a man, or a woman and a woman. And then some people say that, oh, that's wrong. Well, that's somebody's opinion. And it's a very bad one. It's an incorrect one. People are people, and they've been that way since the beginning of time. The only thing that's changed is that you just think it's gross, and so instead of just being an adult about it, being a grown-up, instead you just get to the point where you're thinking this is just some kind of aberrant behavior. Not abhorrent, aberrant. It's a different word. It's people call something aberrant behavior and say, this is not okay. This is, ruffians on the streets. This is, thugs. And it's well, you're the one who's calling them a thug. And in fact, you're also creating the environment that makes it, more likely for people to commit crimes, because people don't know what the fuck to do, because they try their hardest to make a living and they can barely even feed their family. And then hey, maybe some, people come along who are selling drugs, and they're actually criminals, but then they recruit people from a young age, because they're hey, you don't have a chance unless you join us. And what else are you gonna do if your whole life you're gonna struggle and possibly get murdered by a cop or something? I don't know. Tell you to live a fact-free existence? What the fuck? Your favorite streamer Manchild doesn't know how to behave on this platform? I mean, well, that's, I haven't seen to every single waking moment of Hasan. I haven't seen every single stream he's done. So, I literally have no say over, his character, because I've really only seen, I've seen a lot of his content, but I haven't seen every single second of him live. That's impossible. He goes live, 10 hours, 12-hour days. Every day. So it's how can you judge someone when you don't even know all the facts? I just don't understand why people are so quick to that. People are so quick to judge. Aren't we supposed to be slow to anger? In fact, we should avoid anger and violence at all. And yet you put it in your title? Yeah, because it's contemporaneous. It made you click, right? Welcome to the stream. Alright, you wanna play some chess? Or we can just chat about whatever the hell you want. I kind of made that as the stream topic, because that's what's going on. Obviously, I'm not gonna, I'm welcoming chat about the topic in general. And, one topic can lead into another. And if you don't think so, well then welcome to my channel. You're in for a treat. Any topic can lead into any topic here. So don't feel afraid, but if you get banned, if you think you're gonna get banned, you're probably gonna get banned. That's all I'm gonna say. But then don't be afraid. try to use common sense, you know? Should be slow to anger and against violence. Exactly. You don't want to be quick to anger and quick to violence. Like, is that your first solution? Like, you say that, like, oh, you know, something is, we don't think something's right. We think that something's wrong. Well, let's ban it. Let's make it so that everybody, like, nobody can get access to healthcare. You know, we have to, like, you know, make trans people feel like they're not even allowed to have healthcare. Like, they're not even, like, they're only recognized as some kind of mental mental illness. And it's like, yeah, you're the mental illness. You're the people, I mean, not you specifically, but like the people, the pivot, Andy. I mean, everybody pivots. You got to pivot in the game of basketball, right? You pivot, 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 pivot. Pew, pew, pew. It's like pew, 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 pew. Pivot, pivot. You played basketball? Yes, I did. I played basketball as a kid. I was in the team that everybody got to be on. I didn't qualify for the advanced team that like went on like competitions. I was on like the team that was like the rejects, and they treated us that way, and it sucked. I got bullied. It was really bullshit. Like the whole idea. I mean, I understand competition actually is really healthy. Learning how to be competitive. You know, I feel like that's a very important thing. Like chess is competitive. You don't want to try to like be all like friendly on the chessboard, but it doesn't mean that you can't be friends with somebody you play chess with. You know? So like you can play chess, but while you're playing chess, you have to have a cutthroat murder attitude. But like, you know, you can't like be willing to help your opponent. Your opponent's trying to kill you. And the game of chess is about survival. You're trying to live. You're trying to live. That's chess. It's life. So your enemy, it doesn't matter. So to them, they're you. But at the same time, in the game of chess, you only play one side. So you move the white pieces or you move the black pieces. And so it's your job to make sure that you stay alive. You either win or not lose. Those are your two best goals. The third one is to lose, obviously. You don't want to lose. Sometimes it's okay to lose because if you're playing a tournament, but like it's not good to think about that. You should treat every single chess game as a new experience, as a completely new instance. You start over from the same starting position. So it's like going back in time and you get to try again differently. And obviously your opponent's going to try again differently. And there's so many millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of positions. Do we have objective morality? I don't think we do, but as Bosch has pointed out, maybe one day somebody will develop some kind of sense organ that can detect morality. Or maybe we'll create like scientists will work together with other people who deal with morality, like maybe like parents, teachers, religious leaders, all those kind of people need to get together and kind of like maybe we can actually scientifically discover what is morality, because we can't have one person saying this is moral. If we have one person, like let's say we can't have just Joe Biden up here and saying this is what's right and this is what's wrong, and we don't just nod our head along and say yeah, okay, Mr. President. No, we say like I don't think, you know, I okay, like you think of it that way, but what is your definition of this? What is your definition of and you have to know that everybody has a different definition of what something means. So if I say like pawn to e4, that means something different to somebody who's never played chess before. You know? Vosh touches kids? What the fuck? You're banned. Well, that viewer was interesting. You guys want to play chess? I had a fun time with that viewer, but it's time for that person to go. He did bring up some interesting topics, you know. But at the end, obviously, I'm like, okay, that's the. He banned me. I banned him because he called somebody a child molester. Like, what the fuck? He's talking about something that's inappropriate to talk about. I don't like talking about accusing people of touching children. What the fuck? You know what? I'm the Joe Biden of the channel.
Oh, I gotta close the window, I think. Yeah, I mean, I am the leader, but I'm not Joe Biden. I'm also like, I mean, Twitch streams are not a democracy, you know. I turned off auto watch top game. I think I need to close this. That's why. Okay, now it should stop you following the game. Yeah, I mean, this is not a democracy. I mean, this is just me doing my stream, you know. I'm actually like, you know, I do appreciate viewers, but I don't let people walk all over me, you know. Wanted to ask what your thoughts are on God. I do have a belief in God, but the thing is, like I said, my definition of God is going to be different than every single other person's. No two people have the same exact relationship. That's the whole point. It's supposed to be a personal thing. It's supposed to only, like, you know, help you get through life. Because in a meaningful way that means to the individual, and for me it means something very specific, and it has nothing to do with like something written in a book somewhere. That's all I'm gonna say about it. That's probably not all I'm gonna say about it, but I do think it's really important. I do think it really is important though, that people understand and respect other people's personal relationships with whatever they might call, you know, it. Like this idea that there's something out there that is something that we just can't understand and that may or may not be influencing our lives directly. And obviously, I'm in the kind of way of thinking that, you know, the universe is so big and there's so many things we don't even understand about our own planet. Who's to say there's not something out there? Like, just we're basically just like, you know, it's like Rick and Morty. Like we're just like a virtual reality or something like that for some like rich kid or even some just random kid at an arcade or something. Like our whole universe is just an arcade game or something like that, you know, like some alien species that's like, you know, exists in a different kind of space-time continuum than us, like just puts on a helmet and like lives our lives, and like we're actually all individual downloads, and so actually millions of people are each individually experiencing our own lives at the same time. So it's actually like there's actually millions of people inside of our consciousness. I don't know. It's like, because what are your thoughts on Jesus? I think a lot of people say they follow Jesus, but they really don't. Because Jesus drew a line in the sand and say, if you choose to follow me, like, you know, you have to, you know, like you have to accept people for who they are. You have to love people. You have to treat people with kindness and help those in need and all that kind of stuff. Like, he drew a line in the sand. And so if you go around saying that, like, oh, we're going to control your body because, you know, for some reason, like a little teeny tiny collection of cells that can resemble a fetus is more important than a living, breathing human being who has their own life, you know, and just happen to get pregnant for whatever reason that's none of your business at all. And, you know, whatever reason somebody wants to abort that fetus is their own and not yours. So I have no idea why people think that's when they think of Jesus, that they think of just restricting people and like acting like the Romans. So said he who has never sinned cast the first stone. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's an idea. It's not literal. It's an idea. Because people do this all the time. They go on Twitter. You see it all the time. Especially a lot of these people who claim to have, you know, followed Jesus. They go on Twitter and they start saying, "Oh, you're nasty, you trans person. You're not a real woman. You're a disgrace to nature. You should end your life." All that kind of stuff. They're casting stones at me. So they're literally the ones being the sinner. Like they're hurting me. Meanwhile, I'm just living my own life and taking care of people and trying to build people up and trying to be a good person and trying to contribute to society in the way that I can. And yet people consider me a freak, and yet they're, you know, throwing rocks at me. Oh, did he start a Twitch stream? You started following him? Or does he have a Twitter? Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I mean, you know, I can't tell you, you know, I can't become involved in your personal journey. All I can do is I have my life and I say what I say, and people can listen to it and they can choose not to listen to it. And if they like it, they can use it. If they don't like it, they don't have to. And that's kind of the way I see things. If you follow your Bible, who am I to say that you shouldn't? But once people start saying because their Bible tells them to, that I'm not allowed to use the bathroom and I should be constantly worrying that somebody's going to hurt me, that somebody's going to just, beat me up or kill me just because I don't align with their idea of what gender is. Yeah, it's always about discussion here, Boogles. Anyway, I'm gonna play some chess. Oh shit, is there a fighter?
Fire? Come on. What's going on? I can't walk. What's going on? Is there a fire? No. I think there's a fire. Why would the fire truck be here?
It's over there. Like where it was. Maybe now, March.
Get up.
Yeah, I'll look. Hey guys, I'll be right back. Yeah, my house is okay. I was just like, there's a fire truck outside. I don't know what's going on in the neighborhood.
There's a reason why I didn't go to work today. I can't.
Yeah, everything's fine. I don't know what's going on with the fire department, but I think somebody may have called about smoke, but I guess maybe it must have been a false alarm. I don't know. And I got some Doritos and a banana. You know, you can't subscribe because I decided, because I want to restream on like YouTube and stuff. I contacted Twitch and I canceled my affiliate contract. It's very limiting. For somebody at my size, my goal is to get discovered, not to monetize. And you know, streaming is not really what I don't really stream to try to get people to follow me anyway. I just stream just because, like, you know what, I feel like it, and because I want to create something on a VOD, and I might be able to make it to a YouTube video. And so I do stuff on stream, and I have interesting conversations with people. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun, at least for me. It's kind of like a game. Do you do any writing? I do a lot of writing, but not recently. I've been focused more on my own life, and writing, I do a lot of like talking online and streaming, and I kind of just treat that in like on Discord and on Twitter. I just type a lot already. I don't really do much personal writing. I kind of feel weird about it because I say most of what's on my mind publicly. Yeah, I've written like a first draft to a novel, but it's complete trash. It has a great idea, and it has great characters. And I've written some good scenes that are like, forming a basis of closer to the final version of the story. I've written about 160,000 words. It's a good size, like kind of mid-size fantasy novel. It will be a series, but the first one is the focus because I want to make it really focused on the first one. And I do plan to make more, but I want to make it good. I want to make the first one as good as it can be. I don't want to hold out. A lot of beginner authors, they'll try to like make more money by like making a story and it's not even about money. They have an idea for a story, but they're like, oh, it's a 3-book trilogy. And so what they do is they write each book as if it's like part of the trilogy. But the thing is like in a good kind of series, any book series or TV series, each individual book should be able to stand on its own. And I've heard this from Brandon Sanderson, and I've kind of innately known this, is that it needs to be able, like, because not everybody knows it's a trilogy. What if somebody's first exposure to the book is that it's the first book, and they don't know there's a trilogy, or whatever? Well, you're trying to get them from nothing. You're building the relationship with the reader from the very first word on the very first page. Well, from the cover and the title. Like, the title and the cover, and whenever you tell them about the story is what is all they know. And so if you tell them like, oh, this is a story and like it's a trilogy, they read the first one and the ending is just some kind of transition to the next book. Well, I think that's garbage. Any good book series I've read, there's a clear ending to each book. Like it's a story arc. Like it's like a season of like a TV series. Like every season has like a different main like antagonist and like the different ideas and different themes. And so it's like every single book has to be unique on its own. But it's continuing the characters and the plot line into like the next part. Like, but it's like if you notice that, like, Back to the Future Part 2 is very, very, very different in theme than Back to the Future Part 1. If that makes any sense. They're two very different movies, and then of course the third one is extremely different than the other two. Yeah, or Harry Potter, but I don't like talking about J.K. Rowling, but I do like Harry Potter stuff. But I'm just glad I've already ingested Harry Potter when I was younger. Wait, that doesn't sound right. I've already read all and like watched all of Harry Potter when I was much younger before I knew about J.K. Rowling. So it's good. I already experienced it, and now it just feels like somebody just stabbed me. Lord of the Rings, of course, I've read. I've also read the Silmarillion. I read part of Unfinished Tales, but I didn't finish it.
Yeah, let's try again. And I really like the bishop's opening. It's very clear. Like it has clear intentions. Berlin, and I go into Vienna. Yeah, sometimes, you know, like openings are interesting for me. It's like I know some like kind of general like opening knowledge. Does anyone even try to form move checkmate anymore? That's not what I was trying to do. You need to understand, chess is about threats. And so when I play the bishop here, I'm threatening that. It doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to play wayward queen attack. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Everything in chess is intentions. And I could try to use that to manipulate the board to have a certain kind of position that I favor. I mean, anyway, I have gotten mated quickly before. Usually what happens is if the queen and bishop are on the same diagonal facing like one of these squares, F2 or F7, what ends up happening is I kind of get or if like the knight's over here, like if I'm playing black pieces here, and like you know, you start offering these trades, but like the only thing I have here, like let's say my bishop is still here or something, and the only way to defend is I can put my queen here. But then it's like you would just, you know, check, and then the only thing to capture is a knight or whatever, and you're going to win a rook. And you want a queen. So it's like, probably not going to do that. That's defending the pawn. But yeah, I mean, I'm not foolproof, and I'm pretty sure, like, you know, even, especially in faster games, sometimes people even bamboozle, you know, like like title players and like masters and national masters and, you know, like international masters and grandmasters. Sometimes randomly they'll just like get like, you know, like checkmated. I don't know why. Interestingly enough, I can't think of an example. Which is kind of interesting, I think. You got some killer instinct. The thing is it's really hard, especially if I have more time on the clock. It's really hard to trick me in chess, unless I'm just stupid. See, like I can trick myself, but other people aren't gonna like be able to say, "Oh, I hope you don't see this move," because I like look at most of the moves. But then again, if you're better at chess than me, then you'll see more than me. So, I feel like the whole thing is an idea. That if you think of it literally, it could have some kind of value to you, but I feel like it's more valuable to us to think of it metaphorically. And that Jesus, when they killed him, he could have been anybody. Remember how they put him up with thieves? Jesus is literally, he's just a placeholder. He can be anybody. And I think like it's all of our jobs to be more like that. And it's like, you know, working through a human. It doesn't have to be a man, doesn't have to be a woman. You know, it's just like, you know, there's like what, the burning bush in the Old Testament, and then there's Jesus actually like walks the earth, you know, like that's the whole story of the plot line, right? That's the whole theme, is that it's like God acting through stuff on the planet. That's the whole like mythos of like Christianity. I have never heard of the Shroud of Turin. But have you heard of Darth Sidious? Yeah, I mean, that's written, but it's also written that, you know, I have $1 million. I think once you start getting too literal with things, I think that just, you're missing the point. Darth Sidious from Star Wars.
Like, I feel like once you start saying, oh, you know, Jesus literally made wine, Jesus literally, like, well, what meaning does that have? Like, you're attaching meaning to wine? Oh, they wanted to get drunk? Like, what? Like, no, it's that he knew how to ferment wine. And it's like, these are the people in our lives, like the carpenters, like the people who feed people, like the people who make wine and make communities happen. And you know, he also spent time with, like, you know, prostitutes, because people judge prostitutes because they think sexuality is some shameful act. But yet sexuality is actually a very human and natural thing that people do. And I don't know why people have some judgment that you're somehow this disgusting person if you accept money for it. Why is it so sacred to you that somebody can't say, you know, use their own body and their own time and their own consent to, like, you know, actually provide a service for someone? And yet somebody casts a moral judgment and says, oh, well, you can't do that because that's wrong, because marriage is, you know, you're only supposed to be between a married couple and only for procreation. It's like, well, that's your opinion. Where the hell did you get that opinion, and where do you get off telling me that I should live my life that way because I don't want to? And telling me that I can't even people can't make a living because it's against the law. And, you know, people are trying to decriminalize sex work. It's like, it's bullshit. Not everybody is a freaking saint. Not everybody is a priest or a what do they call, a nun. Like, not everybody wants to live a pious lifestyle. Just because you don't want to, why does that have to permeate into our government, into every single law that we have of our land, when the vast majority of people have different beliefs than these people? Not everybody is Christian. Some people don't even have religion. Well, yeah, I mean, that's somebody's opinion, and that person probably got cheated on, or they're probably a really nasty person and never got laid. That's probably what happened. Translate that book verse into modern Facebook or Twitter speak. If somebody was running around on Twitter saying, oh, this chick, she treated me like shit, and she wouldn't call me, and she didn't even have sex with me, and then you find out, like, okay, well, this guy was, like, trying to, like, pressure her into having sex with her, and, like, there's all these, like, this guy's just butthurt because he didn't get laid. Like, it's just some random person on Twitter. And yet, for some reason, since it's written in some book, like, from 6,000 years ago, or whatever, like, somehow it's more meaningful than, like, a Facebook post or a Twitter post. Anybody can fucking take ink and put it on paper. And it's like, it's one thing to, like, you know, take things as they are. You know, I really do think that, you know, the Bible does have value. You know, it has academic value. It has maybe even some personal value. But so can, like, a comic book. So, you know, so can, like, X-Men or Spider-Man or, like, Superman or whatever the fuck. Like, it's not about the book. It's about the person reading the book. It's about the person who is living their life and then reading the book and getting whatever the hell they get out of it for themselves. I mean, you can claim that any prophecy, like, you know, what does it really mean? What is a prophecy? Somebody says, oh, the world will grow in number. People will procreate. There will be many people in the future. Like, yeah, that's a prophecy. But, like, it's something we already know. Like, you know, I mean, we don't fully know it. I mean, human species could always become extinct, which is why we need to, you know, treat COVID very seriously and listen to CDC recommendations and wear our masks and get vaccinated. It gets more specific than that? Oh, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it gets very specific. But just, like, think, like, why live your whole life based on something somebody wrote 6,000 years ago? Why base your entire life on some stranger who may have even, like, you know, if you lived during their time, maybe they wouldn't have liked you. You know, based on your appearance or based on your lifestyle or based on whatever. Because these people are very judgmental. They have some kind of they claim some kind of moral superiority, and that the way they see it is better than anybody else's.
And they think that anybody that goes against that needs to be converted. Or they think that anybody who doesn't do that is like, oh, well, they need to find Jesus. I already fucking found Jesus. You know, just because I do adult porn doesn't mean I haven't found Jesus. I don't know where you got that from. That sounds like a you problem. If you're going to judge someone for using their body in the way that is comfortable for them, that they want to do. You know, people judge sex workers all the time. If everybody was like Jesus, the world would be a perfect place. Yeah. And that's the idea. That's the idea. That's why the Bible is there. Jesus isn't a person. The second coming of Jesus Christ means that we have to be the ones. If you remember at the end, sorry, spoiler alert, Jesus was all on his own. You know, he had to carry that cross on his own. Literally all of his allies abandoned him. And yet someone on the street, you know, helped him up at the very end. A little too late. But you know what that means to me? Is that we all have to lift that cross up, not just Jesus. We can't expect some savior. Because that's what the Romans were acting like. The Romans were acting like saviors. They're like, look, we have food and water and shelter. The only thing is you have to obey us or die. Right? Denying the pleasure of the flesh? I mean, that's your opinion. No, lifting the cross ourselves means we have to... all it means is that you have to just, like, you know, you can't expect somebody else to bring, you know, the things that you want. Like, you can't expect, like, some imaginary being in the sky to suddenly make your life better. You can't expect that to happen. Hey, Kinari. Yeah, it's been a hot minute, Kinari. Good to see you again. What is that in your profile picture? It's like an anime character. Yeah, so, you know, like, everybody's gonna have a different opinion of what that means. And so it's like, how can you get a group of people together in a church and have them all agree on the same thing? It can't be done. They act like they agree on it. They blindly agree on it. They don't know what it actually means. Yeah, you know, and that's a lot of words. But, you know, you got to recognize it's a book. It's a book. It's literally a book. Have you read Lord of the Rings? Now, what if somebody thought Lord of the Rings was some, like, prophecy that was, like, fulfilling things? It's a book. And it was written in order to help people live their lives. Yeah, like, thousands of years ago. And it was translated into many different languages, into English. And that English translation hasn't even really been fully accepted, because there's a whole bunch of different translations. It's a cute drawing of you. Yeah, I mean, it's a book by people who follow Jesus, but, like, the people who wrote the book all have different agendas. That's the whole idea of the Last Supper, right? Is that there was a whole bunch of, like, you know, there was a whole bunch of people who, like, you know, what do they call them? The apostles. And they went against him. And, in fact, Judas, you know, like, betrayed him. So that's basically what it's all about, is that you can claim to follow Jesus, but you don't really unless you live like him. It doesn't matter what your name is. It doesn't matter whether you say you do. It doesn't matter if you've read the book or not. The only thing that matters is if you treat everybody with acceptance and kindness, and, you know, don't judge someone, you know, when you probably aren't perfect yourself. You know, like, and, you know, wash people's feet in their own homes. You know, like, it's metaphorical. It's oh, I got checkmated? Oh, god damn it. That was, what have I'm stupid. It was only one person who betrayed him. The thing, it's an idea. It's an idea, Boogles. It's an idea. It's metaphor. It's like a movie, right? When you watch a movie, does the movie literally mean what the movie says? Or are there things that go on that you might have to interpret yourself?
And so everybody's interpreting things differently, which means that we have to work within that framework. We can't just say this is the only way to live, and anybody who doesn't live this way is wrong, because there's so many different ways to live life. So many different people have different expectations of life, different experiences, different thoughts, different beliefs, different realities they live with. Like, obviously, somebody here living here in California, I have no idea what it's like for someone living in, like, Indonesia. You know, in some kind of poverty-stricken area. In, like, some rural, like, farm area. I don't know what it's like for that person. I've never lived their life. It's written historical documents? Okay. No, they're spiritual documents. They're not historical documents. I'm just done with that. I'm done with that. Yeah, don't come in here and tell me that your way of thinking is better than everyone else's, because that's just fascism, and that's hatred, and that's bigotry. And it stomps on people like me, who are LGBT. It stomps on people who aren't white. It stomps on women. And I do not accept somebody who accepts, like, a literal definition of a Bible. There are people in the church who have modified their understanding to match reality. In fact, the Pope himself has declared that we need to stop denouncing LGBT, and that we need to stop hurting people. And if you don't listen to God, then I don't know who you listen to. You're listening to some dude on Facebook that you follow. False fucking prophet. Anyway, I don't want to get into it, so I just banned you. I have a very firm stance on religion, because I think they just, like, fuck people over, and they manipulate and abuse people from a very early age. And these are the same people. These are the same people who say that we can't let transgender youth have access to life-saving healthcare. And they say let kids be kids, and these are the same people who force their kids to go to church every Sunday, to go to Sunday school, to go to church, to read a Bible, force them to, like, have certain beliefs that are just rigid and set in stone, and judge people who aren't like them. And if you can't call that a hate group, then I don't know what you can call it. And so the people using religion as a veil for bigotry. Because true religious people don't do what they're doing. True spiritual people are peaceful and love people and only care about their community. And once they start bringing hatred and judgment into it, they've already lost. Yeah, it's like when somebody comes over to my house and says, "Hey, have you heard the word?" Yeah, I heard the word. Get the fuck out of here. Like, why are you coming up to people's houses and just, like, interrupting their day just so you can try to push some kind of moral superiority down their throat? And if you say anything that you don't agree with them, as soon as you say anything that they don't believe in, they suddenly abandon you. They only accept you as long as you accept their beliefs. As soon as you don't accept their beliefs, they start shaming you, calling you a sinner, excommunicating you, whatever the fuck they do, exile. I mean, it wasn't a ruckus. I just didn't want to bring that conversation any further. I'll probably unban them later. Just don't bring don't bring dogmatic beliefs into my chat. I don't have dogmatic beliefs, and if you think I do, then you have a lot of work to do. If somebody comes in my stream and gets mad and says, "Oh, but you banned me just for talking about it. You're censoring me." It's like, okay, dude. Yeah, you know, my chat, my vibe. I don't usually like going deep. I don't want to get into hate territory either. I don't want to make sweeping statements about religion. So it's like I don't want to be hateful either. But it is true. My experience with religion has not been a positive one. As a trans woman. And at this point, I don't think anybody in any of those kind of communities would ever accept me, and that's probably a good thing. You know, because, like, I'm a sex worker. We're here for good vibes and hanging out. Yeah, exactly. Well, I woke up this morning and I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, well, what do I want to do? And I'm like, I want to start my stream. I want to like hang out and talk and play chess. Like, it's fun. Okay. Let's do a game review. Yeah, and you know, some people just like kind of give me good bad vibes, you know? Like, come in here and the first thing they started talking about was Jesus. You know? like, okay, dude. Yeah, I did pretty okay for a while. Oh yeah? Well, you know, I try not to think about followers because a lot of those people don't even really come back. But I appreciate it that you see. You know, I've been trying to do a lot of stuff for my life. My surgeries are coming up. I'm getting orchiectomies, I think, in January. I had my consultation for vaginoplasty, labiaplasty, and in February. I have my consultation for facial feminization in March. Things are really getting there, and I have my SSI hearing in January. Oh, yeah, I do. I actually don't know exactly what I want to do, but I started to find myself. I really like being an entertainer, and it's. I think the biggest thing is why it took me so long to try to do an OnlyFans, which I should have done it way earlier. But you know, it took me like a year of testing the waters under a stage name before I did it. And only like a few weeks at a time over the course of a year, you know. I tried it a little bit, like every now and then on the stage name, and I liked it. I like people watching me. I like people, you know, it's the same with Twitch. I like people. I like knowing people are there for me, and I like that I'm making people's lives better with me in it, and knowing that people feel a little bit less lonely because of me. And then I can make people feel satisfied, you know, because of me. And it's really nice feeling. It's a kink. Okay, this is why I do it. It's a kink. I want people to watch. Yeah, and like I'm starting to get some money, but it's really slow at the moment, and I'm scared because I don't have my SSI, so I don't have a safety net. And I'm kind of like, you know, I'm still living here with my dad, and my dad's getting sick. Like, you know, his hip's been out. He can't really move much. Yeah, thank you so much, Kinari. You know, my dad's just getting older, you know, and I'm just getting older. Like almost 34, and I'm still pretty young. And I know there's a lot of people I know transitioning in their 60s or 70s. So I can only imagine what they must be feeling. But they're different than me, and they might be strong, and they're older than stronger than me. Been through a lot more on this earth than me, like in their 60s, you know. A positive outlook on things. A lot of people judge, and I enjoy that about you. Yeah, I appreciate it, but I do have my problems. Like, you know, I do. There's, like I said, I sometimes I might just ban people just because they're making me feel bad, and it's like that's kind of weird. But at the same time, I don't like the person I become when I get into certain kind of moods, you know. Especially like people trying to tell me that religion is rigid in one way, and that like it was already written, it's an historical document. I'm like, okay, dude, whatever. That's totally normal. Actually, I shouldn't even really need to be explaining it. I shouldn't even have to be defending it. Maybe I can move the rook here. No. do something with the bishop. Bishop e3 was a blunder. Oh, maybe just get the bishop over here. Can't push that yet. So it's like I wanted to like move the king and then push the pawn. But I played here. I wanted to open up the rook. Yeah, that being said, I'm never really safe. It's really okay to feel uncomfortable and take a boundary because you're uncomfortable. Yeah, I know that. I've known that, but it's taken me 2 years. I've really kind of figured out what works for me for my stream, and yeah, I mean, at least works for me. Not as far as like, you know, I'm still trying to figure out what works as far as like commercial viability. That's an ongoing thing. I'm trying to, you know, get discovered on Twitter and on YouTube and everywhere, and on my other websites. You know, getting people to click on my link tree. And like subscribe to me and like follow me and all that kind of stuff. Give me money. But like I don't know, it's really hard. But as far as like personal, like I know how to run my stream for me. Like I know what I need to get out of it. I know what I want to get out of streaming. I know what I want. I know what I need when I click that start streaming button. I know what I need. I just want to create a space for myself and for others. Like sometimes I might have stuff on my mind and I kind of want to like, don't want it to just disappear. I want to work through it. And you know, this streaming is kind of like a unique thing where it's like a very specific type of space where you can, you know, come up with things that you don't usually come up with. And work through things. Like I've worked through a lot of my identity on stream. And it's not just gender. You know, I feel like anybody who streams for a long period of time, if they do it with the... Obviously, I did a lot of... you know, there's a lot of terrible things, you know, mistakes I've made. But, you know, I learned from those mistakes. Doesn't mean it's good to make mistakes, but it's good to learn. See, learning does not doesn't have mistakes as a prerequisite. That being said, people say, you know, you can learn from your mistakes. They say, oh, make mistakes because you learn from them, and making mistakes by their own virtue doesn't help you learn. It's not because you made a mistake, it's because you took the time to learn from the mistake, and it only happens if you take the time and effort. You have to actually do it. I hope so, and I haven't really had much energy to make any content lately, and so I've just been kind of streaming and like watching LSF and just trying to get through December, because January is going to be a big month. Even though that's the smallest, that's like the easiest surgery too. It's just a 30-minute procedure. They just, well, it's orchiectomy. They remove the testicles and the spermatic cord. And it's like super simple, and it's like I just like I go in 30 minutes, you know, whatever, and then I go home. And I'm gonna be sore for like a week or whatever, but you know, it'll be good, like kind of like in between. It's the first step of the full bottom surgery, so it's like it's the step one. Well, step one was getting those letters, and then, well, step one was going to my doctor and saying I need hormones now. And then like 2 weeks later, signed all the paperwork saying I was informed, and then I consent, and then all that, and then they gave me estrogen, and it was awesome. Yeah, I don't know what the idea here would be. I want to get my rooks connected, which is like developed really passively. What's the engine thinks is the... It's a pawn... Oh, so you just, like, go here? Oh, I see. To stop, b5. Nerve-wracking. Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of stress, and it's a lot of waiting. And then there's gonna be a lot of recovery and discomfort. And just like, you know, new maintenance that I have to do, you know, but it's worth it. I could never live my life without pursuing it. I could never live knowing that I could have but didn't. That's the main thing that makes it different than just a passing fancy, you know. I spent years of my life getting towards this. I've known I need it 15 years ago or more. But, you know, I spent the last, like, over 2 years now specifically trying to get it. Like, going through all the things I need to, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And I'm just trying to hold on because it feels like it's getting harder every day. But I know it's coming soon. Like, this is the hardest. Like, now that it's close, it's the hardest. Because it's not close enough, you know? But, you know, it'll happen. And I'll know what it feels like. And I'll really like it. And, yeah, and then I'll be flat down there. That too. It makes things easier with clothing options. Yeah, things flat down there makes things a lot more comfortable. Keep going full steam with what you're doing. I am. Thank you so much, Kinari. I appreciate your support. Yeah, and you know, the person, I don't know if the person is here anymore, but the person I banned, Boogles, I do remember that person from, like, when I, like, started. Like, when I started transitioning. So I kind of feel bad for banning them, but I'm gonna give some time and then unban. Like after stream or whatever. I don't want to make it seem like I shy away from certain topics. I am happy to talk about like religion and stuff, but like I said, there was a difference between like just talking about it and then saying, oh, it's actually like, you know, like the standard talking points that like people who just refuse to even understand logic and reason. I don't know, maybe I won't unban that person. Just move on. I don't need to be attached to a viewer. I'm not parasocial. Maybe I am, I don't know. F3 is a great move. There's a better? Oh, that was the only good move. Okay. Yeah, they weren't doing anything too bad. I just kind of like nipped it at the bud. I'm like, I don't know exactly where that would have went, but like it gave me a feeling and I just kind of went with it. I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel like this is going to be a constructive conversation now. It was kind of interesting earlier. Like earlier in the conversation I was enjoying it, but then it was like, then it started to become, okay, this person has an agenda, you know? I don't know, I'm a little bit getting stun-locked here. In fact, I do want to make a YouTube series called Stun-Locked, because I'll watch an 8-minute video and take 2 hours to talk about it. Like Hasan. I could make a whole channel called Stun-Locked, where it's just my responses to like LSF and to like, or even just like specifically like political stuff. I don't know. I can't do what Hasan does though. He has actual permission from places to run stuff on his stream, and I don't. So I'm not gonna risk that. But what I can do is I can I think I can, like, you know, there's what do they call fair use, you know, on YouTube. You have what's called fair use, is if I provide commentary over something. And it's like I usually like commentating by like responding to what people say, you know, the standard stuff. Like I'll like, you know, be watching Hasan or Vosh or Destiny or someone and like pause it and just like, you know, give my take on it or something. It's usually what people do. I wanted to make a whole, I know it's like not that great and I'm not very popular yet enough to like really like, okay, you know, there's a difference between me doing LSF reacts and like XQC doing LSF reacts, right? Like that's very different. Okay, so now here, is there literally nothing? Okay, yeah, Bishop D1's a blunder. Is there even anything I can do at all? Like, I don't think there's anything I can do. How come it's like asking me to try again? Like it's, I can't stop this. Rook move? Oh, yeah, move the rook out of the... What? Okay, and then after check... And I can get the rook over here as well. So that's why you move the rook there. because you don't want your king in front of the. Because if you put the rook here, well, they're gonna check, and then you just lost a pawn. So if you move the rook, here after check, you lose a pawn. But now there's no more attacks. There's nothing to defend here. You can't just like attack or anything. Yeah, I'm over it. I'm just gonna like not think about it. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna lose viewers all the time. Some viewers I just don't really like jive well with, you know. It's whatever. There's gonna be like, there's like millions more. People who actually like treat me with respect. But the thing is, like I said, I don't want to be unfair because sometimes I do allow topics, just other times I don't. And it's not necessarily about the topic, it's about like someone's vibe. I don't know, it's like vibe check, right? Like some people have like, they're saying something in bad faith, right? You gotta get ready for work. Well, thanks for shopping in. I might actually be leaving soon too. I don't know. It's been an hour and a half. I really appreciate you stopping by. I'm gonna try. I don't know. I'm gonna try my best to get to editing all the videos I need to be editing. There's a bunch of content I need to put out, but I have done the filming, but I haven't done the editing, and I want to put stuff up. So make sure to follow me on YouTube and all my other socials, so you see as soon as a video is uploaded. And I don't know. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me everywhere. Command S for socials. If you support me any way you'd like, even if it means just saying hello, even if it means just like, especially if you see a tweet that says I'm going live, you can like and retweet it. It's a thought that counts. Anyway, hope you have a great day, and if I'm not back for the rest of the holidays, or if you're not back for the rest of the holidays, have a great rest of the holidays, or Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. Happy New Year. Happy Bernie Sanders 2024. Happy Hasan Piker unbanning. Bye.